Good evening, boys and girls. It is the real JD3 here. Um, so, as you can tell by the beanie, I am a huge Star Wars fan. Recently just saw The Rise of Skywalker 2 days ago. And I've yet to post this because I have yet to know how I feel about the movie. Not that my opinion matters, but I figured it's the internet. Why not post it? Because maybe people are looking for a different opinion. Not that mine's much different. So I am like most critics where I kind of enjoyed the movie, but there was a lot of stuff I didn't like in it. And simply, if I had to get a verdict, the biggest thing I wanted to take away from this movie was if it could somehow make this trilogy relevant. And going into it, I was extremely negative the week prior, the weeks prior, the months prior when the trailers first started dropping, because in my opinion, there was no way, no how that a single movie made from this big corporation that has so far directed two terrible movies, at least in this trilogy. The first one wasn't as awful. The second one, I'm sorry, but like it's been muddled. The story's been so convoluted. I didn't see almost any way that one movie could somehow fix the past two movies' problems, solve them, and also make that trilogy relevant. It just did not seem possible. And frankly, I don't think it really would have been, or is, unless it was under extremely good direction. Which I'm not saying JJ didn't try his best, but it wasn't enough for me. I don't think it wasn't enough for a lot of people. I think going into it, it felt like a Star Wars movie. That much I can say. It felt like a Star Wars movie, but there was just so much lacking. There was not enough depth for these new characters to have any meaning or semblance in the world and universe that we know as Star Wars. So in my opinion now, as it stands, the first six is all I care about. There is no reason, absolutely no reason, to see 7 through 9 unless you just want to see some really great Star Wars effects. Which frankly is like, I mean, it's really cool. The CGI and the lightsabers and everything, they look fantastic. But there's just not any depth to it. It just looks good, and that is pretty much it. So I know it's a quick thing. I know it's not a big review, but just as a Star Wars fan to the Star Wars community, I wanted to get my opinion out here. I'm really shot down by this because I really wanted it to succeed. As much as I was negative and as much as I did not think it was going to work, deep down I really wanted it to succeed. I really wanted it to blow me away, and I really wanted it just to be enough to make me feel like this trilogy was worth it. I really wanted to care about everybody. I really wanted to care about the characters. I really wanted to be invested in a new Star Wars trilogy that somehow made the last one's ending better, but it can't, and it couldn't. So I hope that Disney takes this complete screw up of these movies, take some time off, as they said they will, and I hope when they come back they have some more semblance on what they want to do next time. I hope, in my opinion, what they should have done is should have gone to the Old Republic. I mean, the old Republic, time age, because at that point they could have done so much stuff, so much ridiculous, crazy stuff that we've never seen before in a universe that we know but we're not entirely familiar with in movie form. So I think that would have been super rad of them to do instead of building off the Skywalker movies, but it is what it is at this point, and they've already done it. So I can only hope that they've learned from all these mistakes. I'm glad I saw at least a bit of effort in, but these movies were literally, I don't care what people are saying, as much as I say, it's my opinion, These movies are only carried through by nostalgia. If Carrie Fisher, if Harrison Ford, if Mark Hamill were not there in these initial movies, there wouldn't have been a whole lot of weight to them. Not that there even is much weight to them now. if C-3PO, if R2-D2, these characters who eventually are starting to get more and more cut out of these movies. I mean, Harrison Ford died in the first one, Han Solo, Luke died in the second one, and then, I mean, he came back for the third one, but then Leia died in the third one. Of course, even though she was technically dead, beforehand, which I don't entirely agree that they kept bringing her back. But it was a mess. The new characters had no depth aside from Kylo. Like, they could have made Rey so freaking great. I really wanted to like her as a character, but and it wasn't even the Mary Sue thing. It wasn't even that was the problem. There was just no depth and reason why. And Nine's reasoning and whole big reveal, it wasn't enough. And I'll be honest with you, like there's no way she's just that powerful. And there was more plot holes that were made through that reveal that just kind of threw it out the door. I mean, it was something, but it wasn't enough for me. It wasn't enough, I think, because I've talked with tons of people over these past 2 days who are also fans, who have also seen the movie, people who haven't seen it, who have seen it, like, oh, what should I expect? Or, oh, what did you think of the movie? And it's all across the board. Some people absolutely adore it, but I don't think they're looking hard enough. I don't think they're seeing everything. Because I'm not just saying it because it's like, oh, this wouldn't. I'm not crazy defensive. It's just there is not enough explained in this trilogy. There was never enough in 7 explained on how we got to 7. It was just we're in 7. And then we went to 8, where all the stuff set up from 7 was just completely shot down. Stuff was terribly choreographed and directed. And then 9, it was like, okay, forget 8, we're starting with 9. And, we're in this new place, and this stuff feels so out of, like, it just doesn't make any sense in 9. I recently watched The New Hope again today, and started Empire Strikes Back just to get a refresher. And, like, I wasn't going into it thinking, oh, this is the best of all time. I'm just starting over. Like, I went in with a clear head and thought, you know what? I haven't seen these movies in a while. Let me just rewatch them and see how I feel. And, man, it is just such a night and day difference. Like, I was just blown away by the simplicity and the amount of, like, just investment I could feel. Like, it felt easy and simple and magical. It was just everything that Star Wars was and is now, racing in the mind of all the people that love it now. It makes sense when you watch that movie and then start Empire Strikes Back and then eventually go to Return of the Jedi. Like, you can see why people fell in love so quick, because it just was the most amazing, it was a cool hero story. And that's what, in the end, Star Wars is. At least from the main section. The dark to light, the conflict within. And they tried that with Rey. They did it pretty good with Kylo. But the way they ended it in Rise of Skywalker, I didn't like that they ended it the way they did. I feel like Ben should be the main focus and not Rey, it's whatever. But, yeah, well, that's my opinion. I'm not going to drag this on for too long. But, so for all you guys out there who have different opinions or who feel the same, let me know in the comments. It's something I care about. And obviously, if you care about it, I say post about it. So that's why I'm here now. So, get y'all on the flip.